What's going to constitute success for you in this program Friday against Livonia?
Just carry over. We had a close scrimmage versus Memphis this past weekend, and we saw a lot of good things. And so now we've had a chance to watch film, look it over, make some changes, corrections. So we want to be able to execute that. It will probably never be about the opponent for us. We're on our own journey, and so we're heavily focused on what we need to do to be successful.
Fan base has not seen your team play
Right.
yet. What are they to expect out of your group?
I expect them to see just kids that love the game, that are excited and appreciative for the opportunity, and I think that comes from the top. It's not a day goes by that I'm not appreciative and grateful for the opportunity that I have, and we talk about that a lot as a unit. So that's something that when you see them on the floor, they're going to look like they want to be there, and they're going to give 100%.
Kind of going off of that, what kind of goals have you set for this team?
Yeah.
2018?
That's funny that you said that. We really hadn't set a lot of goals just because the goals is long term. So we've been setting a lot of like short little wins, we call them. And so we've been talking about energy and attitude and effort and demeanor and executing and controlling the controllables. But as far as goals, I overheard them talking about something, but as far as getting together, we hadn't yet, and that was intentional.
How's this first month been, just for y'all to kind of finally officially practice and just kind of get a culture going?
It's been great. It's been great because we had a few that were injured. There's Chandrika, she's back and looking great. You know, in the scrimmage, she did really well. She looked good, and the exciting thing is she's not 100% yet. It's been awesome to just have 20 hours to get out there and work with them. It's so much we have to get good at, and so we're trying to just limit that, and let's see how much we can do in a short time.
How have the 9 newcomers
Yeah.
kind of been? I know you're familiar with
Yeah.
one, but the other 8, how have they been blended in?
Great. It's a fun group. When you're gonna go and just get a bunch of different people, then you have to get people with good personalities that will mesh. Or it can be, it's a box of chocolates. My experience from coaching the national team has allowed me to come up with unique ideas to kind of get things going quickly in a short amount of time. Yeah.
Did y'all go to Memphis, or did Memphis come to y'all?
We went to Memphis. Mm-hmm.
What are some positives you've seen from last year's team that have kind of carried over?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know much about last year's team. I hadn't had to learn about them because they're not here. And so, from what I've heard and from people that have come in and watch our practice, they've just been excited about the energy. They've been excited about the fact that the kids look interested and that they're excited to play.
Preseason expectations for this group amongst media and polls and things like that are not very high.
Right.
What are your preseason expectations for this team?
Right, that you can only go up from there. So just to get the kids to come out and compete for 40 minutes. I've never been a coach that worried about the wins and losses. Even in our most successful seasons, it's always been about the process. And so the things that we could control, playing hard, getting defensive stops, understanding what the game plan is and following it. That is the way I'm going to just look at everything.
I know you can't speak on recruiting
Yeah.
directly, but overall, since it's been here, sure looked like y'all got a pretty big commit the other night. How is recruiting going?
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of big commits. I mean, that kid, I don't know if she was in the top 50. Our first commit was in the top 50. And so we've got some size. I'm excited about where we're going. I cannot wait to announce what we've done. And then strategically, we have 3 on the back end that we're going to hold. I mean, let's just be honest, the transfer market is what it is, and I expect to take full advantage of it as the season goes on.
Chandrika got picked second team.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you have the expectations, but for the other coaches to have those expectations coming off an injury she had, I mean, what does that speak about?
Yeah, that's what I told her. Like, at my other institution, we got picked first, and I was like, oh, God, I hate getting picked first because, like, preseason, what does that mean? It means nothing. But for her, I told her that is a sign of respect. She didn't even play in conference last year, so for them to put her on there shows. And I said, look, I didn't even get a vote. So that's the rest of the coaches, and I think that I thank God, because that's really what she needs probably right now, just to keep her going. She's excited about being back. She's special, so I'm excited about her.
How do you feel like the team chemistry has been,
Yeah,
developed over the past?
as expected, they think that they're so close that they don't have to communicate as much as they need to on the court. I think that that's something that we need to up a notch because they have so much fun off the court. Like, they're not at the point where they can read each other and know each other all the time. So sometimes if you watch us, you'll see mistakes made just because they're thinking that person knows who they are. And I'm just focusing in the staff, just talking to them about communicating right now at a high level so that it will become a natural form as the season goes on. But usually that takes a couple of years, and we're going to try to squeeze it all into 5-6 months.
Friday is only your second different opponent outside of yourselves this month, but do you have a sense of where the direction, the identity of this team could go? I know you've got to play some games. But
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. It's going to be different every game. We are going to play by scout specific, so it depends on our opponent. If our opponent can't shoot, we're zoning. If they can shoot, we're going to play in a man. If they got two kids and we just can't stop, we'll triangle in two. So if they can't handle pressure, we'll press them. So it's really going to be by opponent for this year. We have to do it that way. We don't have time to establish, hey, this is the way we're going to defend things through and through. You need years to do that. So we have a base, but we know we're going to play hard. We know we're going to be aggressive. We know we're going to look to win 50-50 balls, and that's what we're going to focus on. So it'll be scout-specific. So you can watch our film if you want on one team. It may be totally different depending on the opponent.
Do you know who the first five are you're going to put on the floor Friday afternoon?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I thought I knew, and then we had the scrimmage, and I was like, whoa, okay. So we're still trying to work out some things, and actually it was exciting today because practice was a little bit intense because people are competing for those spots. But the good thing is they all know they're going to play, so they're excited about that too.
You mentioned you didn't have to learn last year's team because in large part it's not here.
Mm-hmm.
Were you expecting that when you took this job? And how did you handle that when you saw how things were kind of developing?
Well, actually, I'm an advocate of transfers with new coaching change, or if a coach gets rid of a player. Coaches never admit to it, but it happens. I'm an advocate for that. So I expected it to happen. 8? No. But after walking into the situation, I kind of did, because it needed some help. It needed some love. It needed some nurturing. I think that the past coaches have done a great job of getting talent, but getting them to mesh together was the challenge because they definitely weren't a 1-in-15 team. So there were some players that I tried to retain. Actually, I met with all of the parents before the kids left, and I got a great response when I met them. But the job had been vacant for a month. That's go time for other coaches. So they were already 1 foot out the door by the time I got here, and a lot of them pulled me aside and said, hey, coach, man, I wish you were here 2 weeks ago, but I kind of already, and so I encourage them and I wish them the best because, like I said, we're going to be the recipients on the back end of some transfers.
Is there anything you take from when you started at Jacksonville? I'm sure each team and new job is different, but was there any similarities handling this job to when you went there?
Well, I have the TUI Center, and I have the $92.5 million facility that we play in. I didn't have that. I just had a can of paint. And so I'm definitely excited about the opportunity I have here. One thing that doesn't change is when you're taking over a program, the culture building is important. It's key. You have to fight for it. If that means having to remove a player for violating team rules, if that means, the upholding the standards, the initial year you must fight for the culture. And a lot of people think culture is how you're going to play. Culture is how we're going to act, what we're going to be, how we're going to treat each other. That is the number one focus because we're going to get top talent in here. But right now we have to focus on making sure that when those players come in, the foundation is strong.
What are your biggest areas of concern right now that you're going to have to see growth in as the non-conference schedule plays out?
just everyone has to grow up. I mean, this is everyone's pretty much first hurrah. Let's think about it. Chandrika's the only player that has been through the fire that's on the team. Cece didn't even play last year. So she is going to be a pleasant surprise. Everyone says she looks like another person. When I first came, I couldn't believe she didn't play. I mean, this kid's skilled, she's talented, she works extremely hard, she's done an incredible job with her body. Mimi was hurt. Mimi didn't play, so she's a freshman. So just getting them to grow up, which is tough. I mean, we just don't have the time. So I said, hey, I'm a half glass full person. We got to look at it and we got to be excited about the opportunity that as a freshman you're going to play or you're going to crumble. But one of the two is going to happen.
Is there any added pressure or motivation knowing that
Yeah.
One of the best teams in the country is right down the road?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm in the SEC. That's the motivation. SEC is the #1 conference in the country. I mean, I guess if I were to think about something that motivates me, if it can be done there, it can definitely be done here. You know, when you think about it, I don't know if you guys know this, in the SEC West, the only team that hadn't gone to the Final Four is us. Every other team has gone to the Final Four. So my whole life I've used stuff like that, facts like that, to just challenge myself on a continual basis. So know that that is the end goal. Now that's far away, but that's definitely the end goal for us.
Is there any comfort in the task in front of you knowing that this program has won
Yeah,
nationally
yeah.
before?
Well, here's the comfort. I think I was able to assemble an incredible staff. And Coach Mint, our mentee Price Harrington, she was on that team, that had a lot of success. And we talk about it all the time. And one thing she says to me all the time, Coach, Carol Ross used to say that same thing. Like, the stuff we're doing is the same thing. So that's reassuring, for sure, because success the recipe doesn't change for success, right? It's different ingredients sometimes, but the recipe, it is what it is. So yes, there's comfort in that. There's also comfort in, the chase that's the sweet part. I've been a part of the chase and I've been a part of the hunted. And when that target's on your back, it's a different type of pressure. So right now we're free. We're coming out here. We have nothing to lose and we'll probably play like it, which is good for right now.